make sure everyone's in who wants to be on this session. Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Wojtek Kalicinski. I'm the Google developer expert in Android. I'm one of the 2 guys in Poland who are experts on Android, and also there's Konrad with us today, who's an expert on Chrome. Is that correct, or is he Dart?
Yes.
He's Chrome. Okay. And I came here to talk a bit about the program. I don't know if anyone's ever heard about it before today, let's say. There's Vladimir might have talked about it. No? Yeah, you heard about the program. Okay. So it's a little bit different than the other programs or communities that you might have heard about, because it's a little bit more closed, and there's a lot less of us experts. So that's why you might have not heard about it. So who are the Google developer experts? I don't want you to read all this. This is a copy paste from the developers Google.com website, where you can find a web page about experts. And there's lots of buzzwords like outstanding developers, gurus, mentors, evangelists. We publish videos, drive community projects, blah 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 blah. And well, I'm really honored to read this, Google saying this about us. But who are the GDEs really, right? We don't want all this marketing stuff that might be helpful for someone who stumbles upon the webpage, but we're here in person, so you can get to know us better. We are, first of all, developers just like you. We're not some kind of superhero. And we're also a people with deep passion for technology. We've been doing it for years. We got to some point in our lives and had the honor to get this title, Google Developer Expert. And we're also heavy users of Google's products, just like you probably. So the best thing about us is that we use those products just like you, and we know the same problems, we have to face the same challenges, and so on and so on. And your needs are our needs too. And I think the most important thing for me, the GDEs are just a bunch of the friendliest, smartest people I've met. There's a GDE summit every year when I get to meet all the, first it was 100, I think there's 200 of us now, all the GDEs, and they're really humble, smart people who love to talk about technology and what they do and the cool project they work on. And I think most of them won't admit how advanced they are in what they're doing with technology, but that's the truth. And as you can see, there's already a lot of GDEs all around the world. I don't know if, and I don't think those numbers are up to date, but that's what I took from the developers Google.com webpage. And you can see we're mostly all around the world, but there are some areas that are flagged. I think that's mostly because GDEs are present wherever Google has a strong local presence. Is that right, David? Where they have an office where they could just gather these developers. But the program is expanding, and it expanded a lot during the last year. I think it's now twice the size as when I joined. And as Vladimir said, we now have a lot of GDEs in Western Europe and 3 of us in Poland. There's still place for someone to take this title in Ukraine. And why would someone want to do it? Okay, before that, just a quick slide about the products that GDEs are eligible for. So mostly it's most of the developer technologies supported by Google, like Android, Chrome, and more specifically Dart, HTML5. Also technologies like analytics, because you can also code stuff for it, Google Apps. There's also a few GDEs that specialize in UX and design. It's a pretty cool field to be in. And they don't really have to do a lot of coding, but they have to know about material design and new trends in Android, on the web, and so on and so on. So that's the products you can apply to be a GDE for. And what is a GDE not? Before you start asking me difficult questions later. We don't work for Google. We don't get any money from Google. We can't add features for you. You can't request us to fix bugs in Google's products. We just use the technologies just like you do. And the other thing we're not a 24 hours a day support forum. While we try to help, that's our role, right? The Google developer experts are here to help you to make open source libraries, to answer your questions, and so on and so on. We have our daily jobs. We can't be there every time someone messages us or writes to us on Google Plus or something, but we try to. And why would you want to be a GD? How can a local community benefit from having a GD in their area? Well, first of all, just like today, invite us as speakers. It might be cheaper for GDG organizers to get GDEs as speakers than someone else, because sometimes Google can sponsor us to go to conferences like this, especially GDG conferences. Appoint us as mentors. So if you do hackathons, if you need just someone to be there and tell people how to do stuff, how they should proceed with doing their applications and so on, we can be mentors. Ask us to promote your events on Google+. There's a lot of following on all the GDEs combined, and we use the GDE hashtag. A lot of people just see it in their stream on Google+. So if there's a cool GDG event, there's nothing wrong about asking a GDE from your area to promote it and just to mention it on their stream. Finally, work together on cool open source projects like the stuff that GDGX does. Some GDEs are working on an internal, a large internal tool for tracking the GDE activity. So there's a lot of cooperation, GDEs together, GDEs and GDEs. Sometimes GDEs are even authors of well-known open source libraries you can use on Android and so on. So you probably used some of those libraries. And what else? It's up to you. I can't think of everything I could do for you. So if there are any specific needs that need to be addressed, or if you have any ideas how you can benefit from a GDE in your area, please talk to me later. And finally, becoming a GDE. The process is simple, but it's quite difficult to become a GDE right now. So first, you have to get nominated by a current GDE or a Googler. And I just want to say that it's not that simple that you write to me, hey, I want to be nominated. Usually a GDE, before nominating someone, has to know him, has to know what he has to offer, what his expertise on technology is. And well, first of all, it's best to meet someone in person, right? So please don't just send messages, blanket emails to every GDE you can find in a directory asking him to nominate you. Then, if you get nominated, if you get asked to start this process, you have to prepare a community CV, and it's a little bit different from a professional CV you would write, because it's supposed to highlight your community experience, like organizing events, speaking at events, anything you can think of that has to do with the communities we are talking here about today. Then you have to.
Also like online activities.
Online, yeah, blog posts, anything, yeah, that's true. Then if your CV gets accepted, you get to be interviewed by a current GDE, usually from your product area, so Android is interviewed by Android and so on. Then you have to be interviewed by a Googler, and it can be a really technical interview where you have to really show that you know the technology well. And finally, you have to be approved by the regional lead at Google for your area. So this is David probably for us and for you. And he has the final word in this. And what's in it for me? You might ask. Well, we don't get any money, right? So why would I do that? Well, there's before I show you those things that you can find on the webpage, and some of them are really cool, some of them are just like for show, but I think if someone wants to be a GDE, he just needs to know that he's doing what he likes, and it's nothing, no one forces you to be a GDE, right? So if you want to join the program, you have to know why, and probably it will be the first question on your interview by a GDE. Why do you want to become a GDE? What's your motivation? And I think everyone should know if he likes doing what he's doing, if he likes taking part in these community events, helping people, and so on. But the other things you get are, you can use a GDE program badge. Everyone gets a badge highlighting their status as a GDE and the product they're an expert in. and it's awarded for 1 year. Finally, you get listed in the GDE directory on Google Developers site. The map I showed you is taken from the developers site, and you can read all about the program there and find all the GDE members. You get to have a closer relationship with the DevWorld team. This is really cool, but don't expect to get early info about unreleased products, about unreleased versions of Android, and so on and so on. We get to have some contact with the Googlers working on it, but as I said, don't expect too much. Easier travel to local conferences and events. That's what I mentioned when I said it might be cheaper to get a GDE for your conference than some speaker from abroad. There's the annual GDE Summit coming up this year in November, and it's a gathering of all the GDEs around the world in Mountain View, where we finally get to meet each other in real life, because there's so many of us right now that even I don't know, I can't figure out online who's a GDE and who's not. And finally, there's the invitation to Google I/O each year. But seriously, if you're thinking what I think you're thinking, just don't apply to the program if you just want to get the invitation. It's a nice bonus, but yeah, I don't think any GDE ever became a GDE just because he wanted a ticket. So thank you, and if there are any questions, I think we have time, because when is the next presentation? Yeah, so we have like 10 minutes if there are any questions.
Если нужна помощь с переводом, пожалуйста, говорите на перевод.
How many experts in like specific technology would be in the region or in the country?
I don't think there are any specific limits. Right now around the world there are probably about 20 experts in Android. There might be more on other technologies. I don't think there are specific limits. It's up to the local dev role, I guess. Any other questions?
Could you share a little bit more about the open source part of Google and your involvement in it? I think I read it in your bio.
Not really. I'm not really involved in open source projects yet. I mostly go to conferences as a speaker. There are some guys in the GDE program who do open source, but you have to look them up individually. And I really recommend you to either just search for the GDE hashtag on Google+, because all GDEs tag their activities with a GDE hashtag, and you can just start adding people to your circles, and there's some really cool stuff they're sharing, either experiments with technology or UX design tips, or a lot of tips and knowledge you can get just by having them in your stream. So I really recommend that. And yeah, and just add me if you want to ask me any questions later, if anything comes up that you can't think of right now. So thank you very much.